Of course. Thanks for having me on here.
Okay, congratulations on the Clemente Award. Of all of the accomplishments that you have been fortunate enough to receive in baseball, where does this rank?
Yeah, this is at the top. This is number one because this is more than just about myself and what I can do with a bat and a ball on a baseball field. This is about something that's bigger than me and giving back to our community and trying to impact as many lives as we can through our foundation. And it's important for myself, and it's very important for myself, for my wife to get this recognition because she does so much and is involved in everything that our foundation does. So it's very special.
Okay, and if you can't talk about why it's important for you to help people, I mean, that might be kind of a broad-based question, but you guys are so involved and you do so much and you have given so much of your time and your money. Why is it important for you and your wife to do what you do?
Well, one, I think I feel a responsibility being a Southern California kid growing up here and being lucky enough to be in the position that I'm in to play this wonderful game for a living. So to give back and to have gratitude for that, I think is important, but also understanding the platform that we're given as Major League Baseball players and the ability to affect people's lives, the ability to impact people's lives, the ability to lift people up when they're going through tough times. And, that was the whole reason behind the foundation and getting started and being able to raise money to be able to do bigger and better things. But it doesn't have to be grand gestures, to give back or to help people or to lift people up. It could be little things, shaking hands, smiles, opening doors, being kind, stuff like that. And, as we've grown and we've gotten bigger and we've done more things and more events, now we feel the responsibility to try to encourage our younger guys to understand their platform and utilize it as well. And couldn't be more happy with all the guys in the Dodgers organization that are venturing off into their own foundations and starting their own kind of path to impacting people's lives off the field.
The great Justin Turner is with us. Has the sting of getting eliminated worn off yet?
No, this is one I think that we're going to think about for a long time. So obviously you have a season that we had 111 wins and the team that we had, and you don't anticipate that first round exit, but it's easy to sit and say that's baseball, that's the way it goes. The game's not played on paper, but that doesn't make it feel any better.
Yeah. Did you, I don't know if you read what people wrote, if you heard what people said, but there was a sense that in that series, you guys weren't having any fun. It didn't look like you were really enjoying playing. Now, that was a perception that people had just observing the team. Is any of that right?
I don't know if that's right. I know that, the facts are we didn't really hit and we didn't, score a lot of runs. And baseball is always perceived as more fun when the offense is clicking, right? So those big 2-out hits, those big 2-out RBIs, those are momentum builders. And, when you're not getting those, it's hard to create that fun or that energy internally, especially when you're playing on the road. So I don't know that we weren't having fun. We had a great group of guys. We had a really close group of guys that enjoy being around each other and whatnot. But the perception it always is that, the team's not having fun or they're playing tight or whatever when you're not scoring runs. I mean, you look at the game last night, I think you can say the Phillies weren't having very much fun either. Even though they put up 7 the night before and hit 5 homers, it looked like 2 completely different teams. So I think offense creates the perception of fun.
You know what's weird when you talk about the Phillies? They got really hot at the right time. And, even Andrew Friedman talked about maybe it's not the best team that wins, it's the hottest team that ends up winning the World Series. As many years as you've been in this game, How do you become the hot team at the right time?
Yeah, I mean, if we had the answer to that question, we'd probably, know how to be hot every single year going into October. And I think it's just a hard recipe to figure out. And, there's all kinds of things that have been said about, the format and the tournament and the days off. And you look back and you look at the success of the wild card teams in the past and how deep they've made runs into the playoffs. So it's easy to say, right, like, oh, well, the tournament's set up for these wild card teams who have been playing meaningful games all September, and then they win the wild card game, so they have momentum. There's not really a lot of pressure on them because they weren't technically supposed to be there. But, usually that's one team of the 4 or 5 teams that are in that situation. So it doesn't necessarily work for everyone, right? Like, there were other wild card teams. There were other teams that were trying to get in to the postseason late in September. So it's easy to point at the team that's hot and having success and say, oh, yeah, like you just want to be the wild card in postseason. You don't want to win your division and have those 5 days off. But, there was also, 4 other teams that were in that same situation who, aren't having the run that the Phillies are having. I think they're just playing good baseball and everything's clicking and they're playing with confidence. And, I don't think there's a secret to that recipe.
Justin Turner is with us. After the elimination game, you spoke to your teammates, right, in the clubhouse?
Yeah.
And what was that like?
That was tough. Obviously we just lost the series, which none of us anticipated happening. We all went into that series with confidence and knowing our capabilities, and we just didn't play well. So after Dave talked to us, I just wanted to stand up and remind guys that it doesn't matter how good you are and how good everything looks on paper, or that everyone in the world is betting on you to win. Baseball is a tough game, and it can be a brutal game. And, stuff like this is something that you remember and you learn from, because there's going to be, next year where you're going in the playoffs, and it doesn't matter whether you're on that side where, you win 110 games again, or if you're on the side where you're going against a team that, kind of kicked your butt all season long and has a better record and is supposed to win. You still have to go out and you still play the game and you do everything right. You can win this game. So, also wanted to make sure, I just thanked everyone for what a great season we had. Being a part of a 111 win team is pretty special. And, it's easy for that to get lost because of how, the season ended.
And because you are so involved in the community, then you posted for the fans to read as well. Why did you think that was important?
Yeah, that was tough. I've been thinking about what to say or trying to find the words. And, on a personal note, it was finding a way to attempt to find closure in the season. I sat in my house for 10 days and didn't really do a whole lot, didn't really go anywhere, just kind of moped around. And I think I wanted to, get something out for closure for myself, but also, I wanted to, try to provide closure for the fans and help everyone understand that, when the season ends, I think there's a perception that we just kind of, jump on private jets and start flying all over the world and going on vacations, and there's not a care in the world. But I just want everyone to know that this hurts us and it affects us, and we pour our heart and souls into this season that's, 10 months long, and our goal is to win a championship. So when we fall short of that, we feel it just like they do.
Well, that leads to this. What's next for you? The club has the option. Have they talked to you about picking it up yet?
They have not. So I'm kind of in limbo right now, just waiting to see what happens. I know think they have 5 days after the World Series ends to make that decision, and I haven't heard a whole lot yet. So I'm not really sure.
You want to come back, obviously. Everybody wants you back. So that we've established that now. We want you back. You want to come back.
Yeah, of course.
If this thing went sideways, would you want to continue to play somewhere else?
I definitely want to continue to play.
Yeah.
I'm hoping and everything works out and it's in the Dodger uniform, because obviously spent the last 9 years here, and my career's taken off here. Our foundation has been doing wonderful things here, and we want to continue that. And it'd be great to end my career as a Dodger, but things don't always go as planned, and we don't know what's going to happen. And but I do still feel like I love playing the game. I love showing up every day. I love the teaching aspect of it, spending time with younger guys and spending time in the cage and talking about it. And the way my second half went, I definitely know that there's more in the tank, and I want to keep going.
Yeah, and I was going to ask you about your second half, man. You caught fire. You were suddenly one of the best hitters in the National League. What switch did you flip?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I felt good all season long. I felt like I was seeing the ball good. I felt like I was making good decisions. I just wasn't, moving pitches forward that I should have been, moving forward. I was fouling a lot of pitches off, and so I was in the cage every day working, making adjustments, trying to find good feels. And, something clicked on that night against Musgrove. And from that day on, I kind of took off and felt good and felt dangerous again. And, I guess that's why you play 162 games, and that's why it's a long season, because, you can struggle for 2 months like I did and still put together a good season. And, I think if you ask most guys, the way I did it is probably the best way to go, where you struggle the first 2 months and then you play well down the stretch and at the end, which is probably better than, coming out on fire for the first couple months and then struggling down the end. So, I don't know if there's a magic recipe or any one thing I can point my finger to, but I did feel really good in the second half.
Well, we appreciated watching you as always. The Clemente Award winner. You mean so much to the community. Everybody wants you back. Our fingers are crossed, and we hope it goes the right way.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you. And hope to be back. And thanks for having me on the show, man. I appreciate it.
We appreciate that. Thanks, Justin.
All right, Freddie.